1,000, a good round number. But for U.S. Customs and Border Protection, it symbolizes a great milestone in border security. Recently, CBP and the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center proudly graduated 42 new U.S. Border Patrol agents from the Border Patrol Academy for the 1,000th time. At a graduation ceremony in Artesia, New Mexico, pomp and circumstance held extra special meaning this day as a new crop of U.S. Border Patrol graduates carried the unique designation of being the 1,000th class to graduate from the U.S. Border Patrol Academy.
Class 1000, keep building on the pride of our organization. Symbolism in the human race has a tremendous amount of meaning. You symbolize many years of pride. You symbolize legacy and history. You symbolize the future. You are part of a team that will protect our hemisphere and the way of life of our people. It is a critically important job. It is a tough job. It is not an easy job. But at the end, when you look back, you will have one of the most rewarding careers that any young man or woman can ever have.
The graduates from this class in 2012 represent not only the 1,000th class, but a long and storied history of the U.S. Border Patrol, which saw its first class graduate in 1934. Established by Congress in 1924, the first 450 Border Patrol inspectors' mission was to secure the borders between border inspection stations. Their duties quickly expanded to patrolling the seacoast and the Canadian border on horseback. 10 years later, in 1934, the first class graduated from a new Border Patrol Academy in El Paso, Texas. Class number 1, a class of 32 newly crowned Border Patrol inspectors, had to furnish their own horse and saddle. Washington paid for the hay and oats, gave the new inspectors a pistol and ammunition, and an annual salary of about $1,600. Many of those early recruits were Texas Rangers and railroad mail clerks, learning horsemanship and marksmanship at the academy. Prohibition-era liquor smuggling was the major concern back then. This was also the early days of alien smuggling. Today, there are more than 20,000 agents patrolling and protecting our U.S. borders between the ports of entry, where smugglers, undocumented migrants, and terrorists try to sneak themselves and illegal narcotics into the U.S. every day. Agents have a tough and demanding job that relies greatly on training. Training in 2012 is a far cry from 1934 training. The new recruits face 58 tough and challenging training days of physical fitness, firearms qualification, Spanish language immersion, and training in immigration laws, which brings us back to the Academy in Artesia, New Mexico. The newly badged, spit-polished, and ready for the world U.S. Border Patrol agents accepted their new positions as U.S. Customs and Border Protection law enforcement officials, relieved that the intense training is finally over.
I am proud to say that we now have the largest, the best trained, and the best equipped Border Patrol that we've had at any time in our nation's history.
It is the heart that is in these uniforms that distinguishes us, that holds us up to the responsibilities that we have, the responsibilities that you now bear to protect the borders of the United States, to protect a way of life.
Today's U.S. Border Patrol is highly sophisticated, technically savvy, a boots-on-the-ground, hands-on law enforcement entity. On March 1, 2003, the U.S. Border Patrol, along with 4 other federal agencies, merged into the newly created U.S. Customs and Border Protection under the Department of Homeland Security. The U.S. Border Patrol continues its efforts to secure our nation's borders as part of the world's largest and most sophisticated border security agency. I'm Michael Pope for CBP Frontline News.